Hey yo, I am back at the recordings again. Actually, I've never done this before, but that's what my theme is going to be here. Welcome to the first episode of the Gaming Pulpit. Right? I've been wanting to do this for a very, very long time, and just real nervous. Like I couldn't bring myself to really do this shit. Just too nervous, and absolutely too nervous, and it freaks me out having my face on the internet and shit like that. But fuck it, you only live once, right? YOLO. Anyway, um, I've actually written some little points here, right? Just to make myself focus, bring some focus to my videos because they never really have any kind of focus at all. I just was recording for about 5 minutes and the application crashed like a bitch. So I'm not even happy about that, but let's start this shit over again. So I want to start by introducing myself. This is Sir 303. I actually settled with that name. I feel good about it. I've had so many different names. I'm not even going to get into it, but Sir 303 seems like a really good start. I like it. I'm going to keep it that way. I'm going to keep it that way. I like it. Right? Um, Normally what I would do is I used to stream video games and I kind of want to do it now, but PSN is fucking acting up. I know it's not my connection because I have a PlayStation Pro A, and I have a gigabit connection B, and every time I upload on the PS4, I really should probably be doing it on my laptop, but whatever. Every time I load or I try to actually put videos, stream videos on my PS4, they become pixelated and then they stop working. That is infuriating, and it has to be PSN. I don't know if they're getting hammered by the God of Wars and all this other fucking streaming and Fortnites and shit like that, but whatever it is pissing me off. So I decided to archive my videos. I've been doing it. Thankfully, I got into the habit of archiving my videos, and it feels weird. I gotta be talking to myself and shit like that, but this actually feels pretty natural. So I'm actually getting really, really, really comfortable with this shit. I like it. But a little introduction about me, because I don't have that much memory on my phone. Um, Let me first start off by saying this. I do make beats. I like making beats and instrumentals and remixes. Usually they're very video game centric. Even if I become famous or popular with this shit, they always want to sound like a video game. Always. That's a big part of my shit. Which is the reason why I went back to my video game or my music channel to start uploading videos on my, on this particular channel, the video game videos. I feel like they need to be together, and I decided to create this this playlist called the Gaming Pulpit, about all the shit that goes online and the shit that I have to say. And none of my friends want to hear this shit anymore. They're like, Josh, you can't make a difference. So whatever. Yes, my name is Josh, by the way. Anyway, I started off being a fanboy. Oh, that's the second thing too. I'm a complete fanboy of Sony. I got a Sony TV, Sony headphones. This is a Sony phone. Sony everything. If I could have a Sony fucking car, I'd have that too. The reason why I'm a fanboy is because of their philosophy. I don't know if it's a Japanese thing or not, but I do know that they like to make quality shit 9 times out of 10, or at least, they take pride in what they do. And it first started off when one of my aunt's boyfriends left a Walkman over the house when I was very young. I stole that shit. Put that shit straight in my little pocket. I always liked music. I always loved music. I mean, rephrase that. Loved it, loved it, loved it. And I decided to. I was playing music on cassettes and stuff like that because you can carry that shit, on the go. That was the iPod back in the day. So that was really some serious, serious business. And you could just carry music around with you. That was unheard of back then. So that was one philosophy. They always pushed the envelope when it came to technology. But on the gaming side, I used to be a really big Sega fan. And with Sega, kind of sucked because, they got their asses handed to them by Nintendo. And they made some stupid mistakes, like really fucking dumb mistakes. But then my dream came true because Sony decided to make a game console. And that's where all this shit started. I always wanted more serious gameplay, more cinematic gameplay. One of my favorite games of all time, I believe it is my favorite game of all time, is Tomb Raider. Very realistic animations. Very realistic environments. And I'm talking about the old Tomb Raider from back in the 90s. That shit was great. And I didn't want to play Mario because that shit looked crazy. It was cartoony. And I was never a big fan of cartoony shit. I like surrealism, which my second favorite game is Horizon. You'll see a lot of that on this channel. Love the game. I think I beat it like 6 times. Probably going on the 7th time. I don't know. I love it. But yeah, that's what kind of kickstarted this shit. And it sucks because even though I'm a fanboy, I will call out Sony's bullshit. They did a lot of stupid shit. Like, I don't want to pay for online. I get it. You know, in order to keep those exclusive happening, you have to pay at some point. I do trust them to know what they're doing, and that's the biggest thing. You know, it's a good thing that they know what they're doing and they're really focused and they have a little quality. I love that. And I'll make another video about all the shit that Sony has done. It's too much for this particular video. I don't have that much memory on this phone either. But to be perfectly honest with you, what I want to get started on talking about, because that's really my story, and I'll get into it more and more as time goes on when I make more and more episodes. I want to make episodes every Wednesday of this caliber. So there's news about the PS5 coming out in about, 2021. So a whole bunch of pissed off people. Oh, the industry, I just wish it could last a little longer. It's been too long. 2013 is a long fucking time. That's been 5 years. 5 years of the same fucking console, regardless of the Pro. Get over it. You had your fucking time to actually test out the exclusives. You stuck with fucking Xbox One, and you wanted to fuck around with Xbox One X without any fucking exclusives. We all know that power means nothing. That's why the Nintendo Switch is doing what the fuck it's doing. It's a weak-ass console with those exclusives of carrying that shit on. And Sony's been building this shit up for over 20 years. They finally got their little exclusives. They finally got everything that they wanted to do. Period. They built it up. Don't hate on it. Congratulate. Pick up a PS4. Buy God of War. Buy fucking Horizon Zero Dawn. And what do you call it? The Last of Us 2. Get that shit. Instead of hating on it. There's nothing on the Xbox One X that you can't play on the PS4. Sure, you can get a little clearer graphics, but the fuck that make a difference? You know what I mean? PS2 was one of the best consoles, probably the best console of all time, for everybody. Everybody loved that fucking console. They loved it. It had so many good games on there. It made a lot of innovations, and it was fucking have the power of Xbox. You know what I mean? It was weaker than the GameCube, and it still with both of their fucking asses. Power was never a fucking issue. So I don't know where all this other shit's coming from. I'm getting hyped. Facts. So, anyway, so the PS5 is coming out. And they're talking about, they're going to release the shit. My only concern about the PS5 coming out is how are the games going to, what games are going to be released by that time? We pretty much understand that Horizon Zero Dawn Part 2 is most likely going to be a launch title. It's most likely going to be a launch title because that game, in terms of visuals, sells the shit. I don't know how they were able to do that shit on the PS4. I just don't understand it. I know a little bit about graphics here and there, but that shit makes no fucking sense. It shouldn't happen, and it's happening. Everybody, I look at Let's Plays, and I look at them play. They're like, what the fuck? Every time. So we already know that. So what I believe is going to happen is that, we have patches for the PlayStation Pro and the Xbox One X. There's going to be another set of patches for existing games. We definitely know it's going to be backwards compatible with, the PS4. We know the PS5 will be backwards compatible. We already know that. But I feel like they're going to have another patch to utilize the PS5, just like the Pro patches. Just to kind of prolong that shit and sweeten the deal. That'd be fucking awesome. I would love that. But that's what I think is going to happen. That'd be really, really fucking cool. So I'm curious to see what you guys think about that. I want to say, hopefully, you find this video in good health on the interwebs. The second thing I wanted to talk about is the fanboys, the Xbox fanboys. And I'm reading online, and they are hoping, they are hoping that the PS4 is released early, just so they can have a power advantage. Because you all know that Microsoft is going to try to release either afterwards, because they're not going to do it before. You know what I mean? Have that little power disadvantage. But they're going to try to release afterwards so they can have that little extra power and say that, oh my god, fuck, fall out, get out of here. They want to sit there and say that, oh my god, it's released and it's more power. It could do like 10% more and shit like that. They don't get it. You don't have exclusives. And the exclusives that you do have, they have run its course. Them shits are old. Old. They're garbage. Garbage. It's garbage. All those games are garbage. You know what I'm saying? Halo, I'm sorry to say it. Halo's not as good as it was. The fans don't even like it. Gears of War is definitely not what it was. That's some old college dorm room shit that the industry has evolved from. Which is kind of helping the success of God of War. Because, you know, normally Sony is up with the whole mature shit. That shit's, they want mature shit going on. And you got Forza, you keep releasing that shit. You know, I mean, you just diluted that shit all the way. What else do you have? What else do you have? You haven't released anything new. And I don't need to explain where the exclusives are with the PS4. The existing and new exclusives. Sony is willing to take that chance because that's a big part of their company. You know what I'm saying? But they really hope. The power never mattered. It never, ever, ever mattered. So I always wonder, why the fuck do you care about the power? It's just stupid. It's dumb. But anyway, moving on. We're going to try to make this quick. I know it's been 11 minutes onwards. And I'm liking the flow of this. This is very fast and shit like that. Going on to Microsoft. Everybody wonders why there's no real exclusives and why Microsoft have never invested. You know what I mean? Because they had time to invest in that shit. But everything they invested in, like Rare, they only use Rare for their technical prowess and their name. Here's the fucked up thing about that shit. Microsoft only jumped into the industry to protect their computers, their PCs. They felt that Sony was encroaching on their shit. So they released, and we all know the story. They released the PS or the Xbox. That was the only reason. Their intention was to never, it was a deterrent. That's what it was, all was. So they did everything they possibly could, and guess what? They were looking at the wrong fucking company. They should have been looking at Apple, because Apple is everyone's number one nemesis in terms of companies. People don't do PCs no more. They do tablets. They don't care about the keyboards and shit like that. Even I must say, it kind of took me by surprise. They don't care about the fucking keyboards and shit like that. They don't care. They just want convenience. They want something flat and little, and you can carry it around. You know what I mean? Something to keep the kids quiet. Something interactive. And they succeeded in that. Microsoft fucked up. That's why they're making the Surface and shit like that. They're trying to make the Surface into a laptop/tablet. Which, to be honest with you, that's a good idea. I like the Surface. I won't never buy one, because the shit that I use a PC for, or a laptop, it's just not strong enough for it, at least currently. The reason why they haven't invested in it is because, imagine if they invested in all those developers and something happens where the gaming industry collapses. You got to give all those fucking people a pink slip, and you have insurance and all that other stuff. That's why they don't want to invest in this shit. They don't want to invest in this shit because that's too much money. Even though they have a lot of money, the rich stay richer because they don't spend money, basically. You're going to have to spend money to make money. And normally a rich company does the bare minimum if they can get away with it. So of course they're not going to invest. They rather pay another company. It's like outsourcing. You know, like when you call your bank and you're the fucking Indians and shit. Welcome to the Chase Bank. How can I help you? The reason why the banks do that is because they don't have to pay the Indians or Spanish people or whoever they may be insurance. That's mad expensive. And when they're done with them, cut them the fuck loose. It has nothing to do with the company. You must learn how Microsoft works. There's no honor in their shit. They've always been about money. And now they have to work for their money because guess what? Back in the day, Windows was wrong. It still is, but it was everywhere in companies, businesses and stuff like that. It was free. It's just free money. Now they got to work for it, and they don't know how to fucking work for it, and they're making stupid fucking decisions. Period. That's how it is. That's the end of the discussion. Learn that. Learn that Microsoft does not care about the gaming industry at all. All they want to do is be in the limelight and have something successful. That's all they care about. They ran Nokia into the fucking ground. It was one of the top, with the best phones, But it was budget phones, and that's a very hard market to accomplish. And they ran that shit into the ground. They were already successful. Sony or Microsoft bought them, and fucked that whole company up. They bought Rare, fucked that whole company up. They buy a thing of the fucking Minecraft. They bought that shit way too high in its life cycle, and they destroyed that shit too. So there you go. They fucked that up. Learn. Microsoft don't give a fuck. That's why they're a shitty fucking company. I know that you need other companies to make, and they did. It served their purpose. But the reason why Microsoft is getting their asses whooped is not fanboyism. It's their own fucking undoing. Period. Lastly, I want to talk about gaming journalism, right? And it sucks. Gaming journalism, they piggyback off of another person's success. They always have done it. Back when NeoGAF was really big, and NeoGAF had like insiders, and they had video game people and developers on their shit. They would read NeoGAF and then report that shit, make a nice little video, and then another publication will report that shit in a news spread. For instance, God of War. Everyone keeps saying that Kratos never had a personality. His personality was all about war, and it was a tragic story. The gods, especially if you read into Greek mythology, the gods are shitty in that mythology. They fucked him over so many times, and of course he was angry. He was blinded in fucking anger. But he always had a story. He always had a kid. There's many, many games. Look it up. Look it up. But the general consensus was that he was one-dimensional. Oh, because they had a couple of tasteless things, like that one scene in God of War 3 where he asked the lady to hold the fucking gear up and that shit collapsed and it's crushed her, or he's beating the shit out of the guys in very violent Mortal Kombat ways and shit like that. Get over it. Get over it. That was part of the lore of Kratos. He was angry and he gave a fuck. But that doesn't make him one-dimensional. All of a sudden he has a kid because it resembles The Last of Us, and The Last of Us hasn't been present for a while. Oh, it's all of a sudden deep. It's the same shit with Calliope and his daughter. It's just that she's dead, and his son is still alive. They haven't really changed much. And the only reason why God of War for the PS4 is good as it is because of his fucked up story. So this whole one-dimensional thing, people parrot that. These gaming journalisms, they parry that. They parrot that. Parrot. They repeat that shit like birds. And they fly around with that shit. The same thing with Horizon Zero Dawn. Oh, there's fucking, it's robot dinosaurs and stuff like that. It's like 2 fucking dinosaur looking types. 2. The rest of them resemble like tigers and fucking deer and rams and shit like that. But everybody who's robot dinosaurs, they copy that shit. And that's how they use that shit. It's very infuriating when I see these publications do this shit. It's dumb. And that's how they get their money. They copy other people. And unfortunately, it fucks with the game industry too, because the reputation comes out. It's like everybody piled up on Hello Games when they did the No Man's Sky. Yeah, they lied. But it was the cool thing to do, to pile up and dogpile on this developer, because it's the cool thing to do. And everybody want to play that righteous shit. Yeah, it's down with them. They're liars and shit like that. How many times in the industry have you been lied to? Have we been lied to? Metal Gear Solid 4, they promised so much that you could chop shit down and it grow. The same thing with Fable. They said at Fable, you can watch an oak tree grow from a seed. It never fucking happened. But all of a sudden, when it comes to No Man's Sky, because that was a cool thing at the time to do, one person said it and they got a lot of hits, and then everybody jumped onto it. That used to happen back in the day with Tomb Raider. Another year, another Tomb Raider. I mean, you look at Call of Duty, they still get like crazy ass numbers. It's just dumb. All of this is dumb. But that wraps up everything that I wanted to talk about. This felt good. This is relaxing to say all this shit. It felt excellent to do this. And definitely, I want to keep doing this every Wednesday. Let's see how this works, actually. You take it easy.